at 11. It was 11 or 11:30. It was halftime. I said, "Shit,
Yeah,
we in trouble." I said, "Oh, we in trouble." I was gonna be a long one.
It's gonna be a long halftime.
Lay low, mate, on the beat.
Cowboys Raw Uncut. 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 Cowboys.
Yo, you tuned in to Cowboys Raw Uncut. It's the crew, we back. And they got Dre out here on Crew Roll, man. We coming off a Cowboys thriller. The Cowboys 20, Steelers 17. Hey, man, shit, I'm going to open it up, man. How y'all feeling on that late night, man? I know we all on the East Coast time, man. We ain't get to bed to 2 or 3, man. How we still feeling?
Still feeling good about that. You know, anytime you can stick it to the Steelers, no Diddy, it's a great feeling, man. You go up into their house and you beat them. It's one thing worse than a blowout, and that's a last-second win, because that's when the other team got hope. They got feelings that they're proud they great win. They beating their chest. They know it. And then to steal it at the last second, fourth down, man, what a beautiful thing.
The way to truly crush someone's spirit is to raise it up high and then drop it.
Drop it.
You know what I mean? That's the way you truly crush one's soul, man. You give them that little feeling of it's right there, but you just can't grab it. But
Gotta be quicker than that.
You gotta be, and it's wild because watching the game, it went like how the season, like that game was a metaphor for how the season's been going, or how life as a Cowboy fan, up and down, ebb and flows. You know what I mean? And to sit there and think about how literally I didn't have no faith in Dak. I can't even lie to you. I didn't have no faith in the offense.
He didn't give you no reason
situation. Like I had already coped with losing that game, and for Dak to come through like in Tolbert of all people, you know, to come out injured right before that play, and to come back and be able to make that strong. That was a strong catch. You know, a hands catch at that too. It was a hands catch.
Yeah, because
he was on his back. Because
dude was pushing his hands to try to push that ball out.
That was a real strong catch, man. So shout out to Tolbert and Dak. You know, it's wild because it's when it comes to Dakota, he is the reason for our problems, and he's the solution for our problems. Never have I seen someone literally lose the game or give it away and then still be in a situation or chance to win it, and you don't know whether to pat him on his back or smack him in the back of his head. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at Dak, man, it's just, you know, I don't know how to feel. I'm happy that we won that game because it was the Steelers. That was one team that I didn't want to lose to.
I'm patting him on his back. I'll tell you why. Usually, throughout the years, he's this big regular season, preseason champ, and then the playoffs or something, he folds. Usually, he does good all through the game, and at the final ending of the game, he do something and blow it. But this time, it was different. This time, he messed up all through the game and came down and won it at the end. Those other games where he do good, we talk bad about him. You did good all through the game, and you cost us the game at the end. We ridicule him for it. We take shots at him. So on this one, just for the simple fact that I know how hard I am on him when he has a good game and then blows it at the end, I want to change it up on this time, and I'm gonna congratulate him on pulling through the adversity, because if he would have folded up and threw another interception, I really wouldn't have been too mad, because I lightweight expected it. I didn't expect him to step up in a big moment. I didn't see it.
So one thing I've said about Dak is that I've always called him Final Form Tim Tebow. You know what I mean? Like, this is what
That's a
Tim
little rough.
Tebow. Well,
That's
no,
a
what I'm
little rough.
saying, if Tim Tebow was a better quarterback, he'd be Dak because of the winning spirit. The one thing that made Tim Tebow great was his winning spirit.
The leadership
like
qualities.
the leadership qualities. Like if you put him in position to win, he's gonna lead. He's a leader of men. He's gonna lead that team to victory. And I think Dak has had that spirit about him. You know, he's a fighter, regardless of if he makes those plays or not. One thing about Dak is he's a fighter. You know, so you know it is when I see that. You put him in position, you know, I got egg on my face because I just said that I don't trust him going down the field and to win that game. That and the young boys, the Hunter Lukis, the Jalen Tolberts. You know, Jalen Brooks made good plays. During the game. Fergie, man, just like
key 3rd and 9, big play, Fergie.
As much as it would have been a team loss, it was a team victory.
Absolutely.
As much as it would have been a team loss, it was still a team victory, man. Like,
and you know, and the back up what Slick said about Dakota, and I'm agreeing with him that I'm gonna salute him because it was easy to fold. He had already threw 2 picks.
Fumble.
He lost a fumble. Yeah. So it would have been easy to fold, but to piggyback on what Slick said, also the fact that at some point in time, CD had a few remarks for him.
What do you think he said?
On the sidelines. Well, I can tell from the demeanor, it was something. Matter of fact, maybe sarcastic because he said what he said.
So
Kind of.
Let me give you some options.
On what he said?
On what he said. Do you think he said subpar throws
Yes.
or jump ball?
4. I seen jump ball 4.
Well,
Jump ball 4. I got you.
Subpar throw.
I seen jump ball 4. I seen jump ball 4.
The reason I think it was something
Subpar
more.
throw.
The reason I think it was something more to be, you know, kind of a shot is because Dak didn't even look up. He didn't look up. He didn't address him. He didn't. If it's jump ball, I figure he'd say, "Okay, I got you." But I think he took it as something. He didn't even look his head up. He kept looking at the pad. CD said what he said, kind of made a little smirk, and just turned around like, I said what I said. That's it. Dak continued to look down. He didn't even address it. Didn't look up. Didn't. Okay. So that's why I thought it was something maybe a little shot.
Subpar throw.
I think what's wild to me is that when you watch the throw, it wasn't a bad throw.
It was a very bad throw.
No. What I'm saying is that the
was
ball. No, what
because
I'm
it's
saying
spin. Because he had a spiral.
Because he put it where I think he put it exactly where he was where he was trying to put it through. No, I don't think. It literally looked like a miscommunication to me. It didn't look like it was a bad throw. It wasn't. No, they wasn't on the same. That's where I say like when
For you to
watch
cock
the two,
your arm back and throw it that way with double coverage, he's bracketed.
But when you watch these two,
Don't throw that.
No, when you watch the dynamic between these two, it hasn't been great this season.
True.
And that miscommunication looks like something that's been going on throughout these games. So when I watch Dak throw that ball, I'm looking at him throwing it where he thinks CD's going to be.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a bad throw. The throw was where he thought the receiver was going to be because he looked it down. He knew where. And
you cannot make that throw in a double coverage right there.
But historically, with this offense, we make that throw a lot. That hitch. We run that hitch.
He made that throw, the one when CD was in double coverage, and he made that one
tiptoe?
throw where he not the tip throw. A couple games ago where he threw it double coverage. CD got out of double coverage and went and scored. So I just
Saints.
I just think that Dak expected he was going to be somewhere that he wasn't because CD was going like this and the ball was coming over this way.
What's more vanilla than running a hitch right there in that situation? That's Cowboy football. That's Cowboy. That play is what we do in those situations. Dak threw it. I believe Dak threw it to where he thought CD was going to be. CD wanted the back of the end zone, back corner of the end zone, jump ball for it. Yeah. That's what he wanted. One wanted one thing and one wanted another. So I think it's bigger. It's bigger than the throw by Dak. It's the miscommunication between star receiver between 370. Was it 376 million?
But that's
miscommunication.
But that's one of the things they have been speaking about, and that's probably one of the reasons why Tolbert stepping up like he is, because
has
he
that
put
rapport.
he put in that work with Dak.
In the offseason.
He
In the offseason,
he was one-on-one with Dak, getting that rapport,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why
Showing up for when the QB
OTAs
is
and
throwing,
exactly,
this is when I'm throwing,
exactly.
showing up and being there.
So CD not being there is got has the chemistry off a little bit, and it's something that'll get together.
Every game
But-
it looks like it though, which is nuts.
No, it
every
looks
game,
forced.
every
It
game
looks
it looks forced. That they are not.
It looks forced. It's
They
tightening
are
up,
not.
G.
Yeah, they are
Cowboys
not.
Raw Uncut.
Man, yeah, man, it's a little flaccid. The Mike says a little flaccid, man.
And shout out to Steve O, man. Safe travels, man. Crew Steve is traveling right now, man.
Shout out to
He's
Steve.
Trying to figure out what's going
You know what?
on.
He's out there. He's out there like Romo.
And really, Steve,
Romo Whitney.
speaking of
Yeah,
Steve O,
like Romo.
Steve O said something huge, man, in that chat, and it really is what it is, that we looked like we were physical.
Yeah.
Because we were running the ball and we were committed to
how
running
we
the
were
ball.
running the ball.
And like Steve O said, is when you run the ball, that's a trench game.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get physical in that situation. When you run the ball, that's a physical aspect. So
Shout out to Mike McCarthy going
we
against what you
continue
usually
to,
do.
We continue to run the ball and got
God.
4 or 5 a pop and wore them
He
down.
didn't complete that, did he?
Nah.
We literally wore them down on that line.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the line, you gotta think about it. We normally like they mentioned it on the air where we normally run
Zone team.
Right. Instead of going straight.
Instead
Exactly.
of smash.
Exactly.
Our line
Old
seems
cowboy
like-
football.
Yeah.
Our line wants to play smash.
Yeah,
mouth.
exactly.
And I want to shout out to one of our supporters, man, big supporter. He kind of put an idea on this before the injury occurred. Whisker, shout out to you, man. But basically said that we should have. This is before the injury. We should move Tyler Smith over the left tackle. And how do y'all think that look? With him being there after Guyton got injured. Do you think we should move Guyton back to left guard and keep Tyler over?
It's crazy. The penalty stop and
Yeah.
the sacks did too.
Yeah.
The penalty stops and the
we got
sacks
that
did
run
too.
game.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. It's I didn't even pay attention to
Yeah,
that.
no, yeah.
But time 60 went out. You notice that the whistles did start slowing down a tad bit.
Yes.
Bass caught a few though.
Well,
But
yeah,
Bass
yeah,
came in and
yeah,
caught a
yeah,
few.
yeah,
Bass
yeah.
came in like
That's
we.
expected.
Yeah, Bass came in.
Right,
Bass came in and
right,
caught a
right.
few, man. And overall, like we had a bunch of. We still play cowboy football, or
With all them
traditional what it
penalties.
was in all levels. So we got to old school cowboy football with the toughness, and then
Yes.
we got to new school cowboy football with the mistakes.
Shout out, BB.
And even though we had 11 penalties out there, man, I like some of them
Unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike and stuff like that, getting in squabbles and stuff.
Jordan Lewis, man. Jordan Lewis is out there getting busy. You know what I mean? Jordan Lewis out there getting busy, yeah.
Man, Jordan Lewis left the
Jordan Lewis
game and
did.
told them they need to get a new wide receiver. Pickens is trash.
Trash, dog. But you seen him at the end of the
Or
game.
was it number 7?
I mean, or it might have been.
Had something to do
Or it might have been
Seven
number 2.
definitely
It
had
might have been
something.
number 2 on the. It might have been number 2 on the in the black and gold. You know what I mean? So Justin Fields was doing the best that he could, but that's still Justin Fields. So we can't. He's good enough, but when you play a number 1 corner in the league with that quarterback, sometimes that's when he gets exposed. Like we all were you a believer in the Steelers? Were you a believer in the Steelers? We knew it was a tough team.
I said that in the pregame, in the kickback, that I thought that Dak was good for that 240. Remember that 250 because
We got it.
because they hadn't seen a quarterback like Dak in the previous games.
Yeah. They hadn't, and at the same time, like with us running the ball, I'm glad. I think it was a confidence builder.
20 carries.
Yeah, it was a confidence builder. Once we popped a few, they kept going back to the well.
I
They seen it.
was so surprised.
I was surprised too.
Mike
I
that we
was
kept running.
surprised.
Oh, most definitely, I was surprised.
I
Mike
was
I remember
surprised.
on the kickback, I was like, he's gonna get that 11 carries. And people was like,
And shout out to the crew. We hit our first parlay this week too, man. We hit our first parlay this week.
4.4
And I was
pop.
asking, I was asking for 8 more carries from McCarthy because I just felt like with us being injured, like we were on defense, like it was a matter of time that you had to put your ego to the side and run the football.
Bro, it's been 2 years. He ain't put his ego to the side. I didn't think he had it in him. The same Steelers team he played in the Super Bowl and only ran 13 times. I did not think he had it in him. Shout out to Mike for, like Dre said, putting your ego to the side and doing what's best for the team.
And shout out to BB.
Yeah, he played a good game, man.
Up there controlling things. I mean, he's taking on dogs like Hayward. And he is moving things out front. Shout out to the Rook. Keep playing like that. We'll have a 56
had his hands full this week too.
Still had his hands full
this week too. Hey, TJ gave him. TJ was was out there getting loose.
That's to be expected. That was, you knew that going into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the game, if you told me TJ's gonna get 1.5 sacks, and you don't see him, hear from him in the last quarter and a half, you'll take it. You'll take it.
Yeah, he's a record.
Game plan, start running right at him.
He's a
oh man, right at him. Come on up this way.
So how do you feel about? So do you feel that this is progress with this win?
I hope so. As far as the team, I hope that they seen the formula of what we won with this game and they build on it and move forward. I hope they see that we have a number one running back and start feeding him more. I hope that they see that the defense got these young thugs out here, and all due respect for them with the word on the field, that they got these young guys on the field that's out here thugging it. They running, attacking the ball. They're attacking people. Man, Overshown was flying to that ball, letting his.
I was getting ready to say, shout out to the linebacker crew. Shout out to Hendricks 10 tackles. Shout out to him and Overshown flashing.
Overshown, don't Olsen 27. Give
Flying.
Diggy. It was just a whole.
Man, they played.
Prayers out to the young guy, man, kneeling, man. Prayers out to him. Hope healthy recovery.
What they say it was?
Yeah, I think it's a partial torn meniscus.
MC.
I don't think he's gonna miss the season though, but
Yeah.
he'll probably miss some games. I think he's gonna scope him out.
Heal up, young man, because he was out there balling before he left. He was, yeah.
And we talked about
What
that
about
before,
Big
man.
Wheat out there? Big
We
Wheat.
was doing that.
Big
We got
Wheat
that.
did his
Yeah, we
thing,
gave me a
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
We gave
Wheat
me
played,
this.
man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Big Wheat
was
was
good.
Big Wheat was a second. He was a millisecond away from about 3 sacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was touching the quarterback.
Yeah.
And if
And he
it
got
wasn't
nasty.
Justin
And he
Fields,
got
he would have
nasty.
had him.
And he got
But
nasty.
Fields is a little agile.
Yeah.
And he sped him up and made him get loose. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's
Shout
like
out to Joseph.
so when I think about this team, this win, there's an old quote. Well, there's a quote from Malcolm X, and he said, "You can't stick a knife 9 inches out in my back and pull it out 6 and call it progress." And in the same sense, or I'm paraphrasing, it might have been 3 and call it progress. But at the same time, I'm happy about this win because it was beating the Steelers, one team I didn't want to lose to. But I still wasn't a believer in the Steelers. You know what I mean? Like even coming into it with them being 3-1, they were playing better than we were overall, but I still wasn't a believer in that
But
team.
Their strengths was our weakness, and it had me worried.
So Najee didn't run the ball well.
Their strength is running the ball. Our weakness is stopping the run.
Yeah.
Right?
So
it's a
that
roll.
the
So you think we
last
did a
couple
good
of
job
times
against Najee?
people's strength came against our weakness, we've lost them games.
So you think we did a good job against Najee, or did they just not run the ball well?
Both.
We did a good job.
Both. They didn't run them. They didn't keep it into it, but we didn't give them no hope that it was working. We was attacking that. We was flying to the ball. It was gang tackles. They was really attacking. He had a couple of plays to be expected. It's the NFL. They did a good job on the quarterback, on Fields. It was solid. We usually with those kind of teams. My bad, Dre. Usually with those teams that's physical and come out there and coming in that they're gonna run the ball. The weather was bad. The field was supposed to be bad. That was even more reason for them to run the ball.
Yeah.
and we were stopping it. You didn't see those 30 and 40-yard runs that we had been seeing against other teams that did on us. We played.
No, I don't think Najee's no speedster to get out and get loose on us like that anyway. You know what I mean? Like when I look at Najee, he's between the tackles, and the 3 games that
Justin
we've
Fields
won,
ain't.
Justin Fields, he can get out and get loose. He can get out and
He
get loose.
didn't.
No, he didn't, but he can.
But he didn't.
But
So,
yeah,
so
and
that's
a good
what
thing.
I'm saying. So think about it. I just wanted to add to that. Like, why wouldn't they take the blueprint that it takes to beat us, being physical, running the football? Why would they go away from that?
Because we were stopping that.
I know, that's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
asking.
Because
Why
that
would
wasn't
they go-
open.
yeah.
Those
Why
holes
would
and
they go
gaps
away
that was
from
the holes and gaps that had been there was no longer there.
Right.
The constant pressure of everybody running towards Micah
Yeah.
and running away from and towards Micah and open up other things for other players
Yeah.
was gone.
Yeah.
It was
So
where
do we play
going?
with more heart? So are we playing with more heart because everybody's hurt? Is that what you've seen players stepping up?
I seen players stepping up. I'm not gonna say it's because other people was hurt.
Well, they're stepping up because that's the reason I got them chances. We wouldn't seen Big Wheat if
Like
DeMar-
before the
They
camera
ran a
started.
good game plan.
Like before the camera started rolling, I told Dre, all the guys that's making $1 million, $2 million, the minimum vets, the rookie contracts, those guys played they asses off, played with heart. We won because of those guys, not because of the 376. We won in spite of the 376, not because of 376. Those other guys came through and they played with heart. They played cowboy football.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And like I said,
Appreciate that.
absolutely, with everything. And with that, I once again shout out to Mike McCarthy because he changed. We didn't, instead of us throwing it all the times and not running the ball and 3 and out and giving the ball back to them to keep over and over giving them the ball, we was running the ball. We was moving that ball down that field. They couldn't just keep doing what they want to do. They had to adjust. They did. We came out with a game plan that the Steelers didn't expect, nor did I.
We had 430 in offense, four something in offense, and they had 2 something. We had 4 something in offense. And
Yes.
they had, but even with that said, I look at it as
445.
445. And I think they had like 270 or something like that.
226.
220, something like that. I knew it was something like that. But you got this offense. I think sometimes you can be exposed. I think that we expose
What do you mean?
because at the
Who
same
can
time,
be exposed? What
as far as a team like the Steelers. You know, because technically we left 21 points on the board down there. We had the fumble and 2 picks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
And
not
for
gonna-
us,
I'm not gonna say 21 because you're not
okay,
gonna say that everyone's gonna
yeah,
get
minimum
touchdown.
9. Let's go at minimum
Yes.
9. We were in the red zone. We were in the red zone.
And we had 1 block too.
Yeah, and we were in the red zone.
Yeah.
So you got to think about it. We fumbled. Yeah, we fumbled in
He
the
was gonna
red
miss that
zone.
anyway.
We fumbled in the red zone. We threw picks in the red zone. It was both of them picks in the red zone.
If it wasn't, it was out.
Or they
right
called it
outside.
like right outside. It was within range. So
Nah, this
you got to
pick
think
wasn't in the red zone.
the second one. That was the one Joey Porter got. It wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
So
not.
but when you look at that, even then, so say it's 0. So at minimum 6 points on the board. At minimum 6 points on the board.
With the missed field goal.
Excuse me. Yeah, thank you. And it's one of them things that even with the missed field goal. So we were moving the ball.
At
We treated
will.
them the way that they should have been. So when you look at our victories, we got New York, we got Cleveland, and we got
Pittsburgh.
So when you look at those teams, all of those teams have maybe beaten good teams at one point because New York had a good victory this weekend.
Who was Cleveland beat?
I don't know. Cleveland.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. So you got Cleveland. So they had Jerome Ford. That was a game that our defense looked great first game. You know, they weren't able to run the ball again. Then
Cleveland ain't nothing.
no, Cleveland ain't. But then the next game we win, that our defense looks decent again, is Devin Singletary and the New York Giants. And then this week we have Justin Fields and Najee, which both of them are good players, but they're not the Derrick Henrys. You know what I mean? So when we coming up against Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, when you coming up against Jordan Mason, when you coming up against Saquon Barkley, who else we got in that run?
But you naming running backs that we've shut down in previous years.
Who we shut down? We shut down. We ain't stop.
I mean,
We ain't stop
Saquon
saying
ain't
finesse.
really ball on
We,
us.
Now and
Saquon be running the ball on us, man,
and
but
the
he don't
Giants,
score a lot. He
and
runs
the
the ball.
Giants just went in at the 12th man, knocked them off.
What to Seattle?
Yeah, that was a good win.
Yeah, that was a good win.
So don't be surprised. Washington and the Giants could be better than we think.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I mean, so
I agree.
You know.
Yeah, it kind of looked like in the division, man. If you're not top two, you're not going to the playoffs.
Again, we're in a battle with Philly right now, so that's where
you
we're
might
at.
not even
You
get in
might
at the
not
second.
Get in there as a second.
Yeah.
Who's the front runners in the NFC right now? The Vikings. We know the Vikings are 5-0.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
The Vikings, the
Yes.
Saints, the Falcons.
Saints is the Saints.
Saints and the Falcons.
Nah, Saints is tailed out. Saints is
They
tailed.
got 2-2. So the
You're already
Falcons.
losing down 2 and 3.
We have the Falcons, and the Buccaneers are 3-2
They
too.
got 2 losses.
You got the
Detroit.
Vikings at 5-0, Detroit at 3-1. The Packers is coming on at 3-2, and the Bears 3-2.
We're all 3-2.
Seahawks 3-2.
Yeah.
Falcons 3-2. Bucks 3-2.
Green Bay 3-2.
So
Okay.
So it's a lot of
parity is the name of the game this year.
You got to win these. You got to win the NFC games right now. I like beating the Steelers, but at the end of the season, you need NFC victories right now. But
Next week.
good step.
Yeah, I mean it was a good victory. We needed that. Yeah, we needed that win. Like I said, that's one. There's certain
I'll say that's
certain
Thursday.
teams that you play during the year
I'll say that's
that
Thursday.
no matter what you want to beat. You know what I mean?
Pittsburgh.
Your record could be 5-12, but certain teams you can't lose to.
Deadskins,
And that's
Pittsburgh, Philly,
Philly. It's like certain games.
Mitchell.
Yeah, man. Certain games you just gotta win, man. And that was one there because that was legacy, man. That's bragging rights. We got bragging
Hey,
rights for the
man,
next 4
every
years.
time we go to Pittsburgh, we get a walk-off, man. Something about them.
It's nuts because it's like now we see all the other old heads that we run into that. Yeah, thank you, brother. All the other old heads that we run into that are still fans. Because again, you don't find too many Steeler fans. Thank you, brother.
You don't feel
Overall,
too-
that's
I
under
thought
30. That's under 30.
so.
You know what I mean? Because they didn't grow up in that era. The Patriots, and Chiefs fans. You know what I mean? Chiefs fans and Baltimore
Hey
fans.
man, y'all cooking
and
because
stuff
I didn't
like
even
that.
think about that.
Yeah,
Y'all,
man, it's a whole
y'all
different. It's a
cooking
whole
with
different
grease.
thing. So
That's
you
real
got,
life.
Yeah, so when you got San Francisco,
San Francisco, Dallas, and Pittsburgh is old
those is
heads.
legacy. Those are blue bloods. Those is blue bloods. So that's the Juice Bowl. You know what I mean?
And
That's
then the
the
little-
Juice Bowl crowd. That's the Juice Bowl crowd.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and then the
With
Raiders,
the leather
you know what I'm
jackets. Yeah,
saying?
the Raiders definitely too. With the
what are
leather
the
jackets.
Right.
The Packers too, but they're not as widespread as the Raiders, as the Steelers, because those are real blue collar teams.
Hey, man,
You know what I mean? They're real blue collar teams, man.
Chris
So
Collinsworth said something during the game last night that made sense. These two teams never have a true road game because their fans show up. They got fans everywhere. They're gonna show up to any stadium.
Stephen A.
You hear the story that Terry Bradshaw told Collinsworth why
What'd
he
he say?
didn't like Dallas?
What?
Said because they was the pretty boys, finesse, because Tom Landry was in his, his hat, and Chuck Noll was in sweatpants and a sweat top. But this is what he said.
He's stupid.
This is exactly what he said. He said, and they were America's team.
yeah, that's why they
That's
hate
what
us.
Bradshaw said.
That's why they hate us now.
He said that's why he didn't like them, because they was pretty boys. They was finesse, he thought, because of how Landry dressed, and they were America's team.
I like it.
It's really one of them things.
I like it.
Again, when you look at that, when you look at those fan bases, well, those are different type of fan bases. I think the Patriots have walked into that rare era too when it comes to the fan bases because of time. So like if you looked at it, Green Bay's there too, obviously, but they're not. They're not
I
us.
think Green Bay more than the Patriots fans. They got they diehard fan base, but they got a lot of them that jumped off that ship.
It's time left.
Oh yeah.
They got a they gonna say they was time. Yeah,
Tommy
it's a
Boy-
lot of them that
Tommy
jump
Boy
off
not
that
coming
ship.
back.
Maybe they'll come back if they start winning again. If Drake may do what he's supposed to, but Cowboys, Niners, Raiders, Pittsburgh, even when their teams was down,
Right.
they fan base still staying
Yeah. Ain't nobody
10 toes
bigger
down.
than the Pro.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But you know, we've like you say that when you talk about those fans, that fanhood, they were all winners, dynasties at one point. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? Like they were winners. They had winning history. Yeah, and none of us ain't really did it in a long time either. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about it, Raiders ain't won shit in a while. San Francisco ain't run shit in a while. I mean, they are the San Francisco, but San
Yeah,
Francisco.
I'm with that too, man. I feel you, Dre.
Like,
They
I get
pushing
that-
the
I get
envelope.
that- I get
they
that pushing
haven't,
it.
but they on the scene, man.
Congratulations for being the best loser.
Man, I take it.
You know what I mean? But you still in the same spot that we are.
The Buffalo Bills, they just don't know it.
So, hey man, but he's stupid. Hey man, but you know, like looking at it, I don't know, like how long can you hang your hat on almost winning?
I mean, how long can you hang your hat on not even coming close?
It's in the end, it's the same thing. In the end, it's the same thing. Second place,
Well then.
second place, you the first loser.
Well
Second
then,
place, you
bro.
the first loser. I want to win eventually.
Not
And see,
when,
I
not
don't
when they
expect.
step over top of you to get there.
I expect Dre.
Nah.
I expect Dre to relate to that. You know what I mean? Because of his college affiliations. You know that almost winning is okay. No, because contending is cool.
I'm with
Giving you the game.
I get
Yeah.
it, but
I
eventually,
always want to contend, regardless of if you don't bring it home or not. You
Absolutely.
Want to be a contender.
you want to be, and this is
Absolutely.
totally true, but doesn't.
Absolutely.
Okay, and again, because of your college fanhood, you understand is that don't you know when you're supposed to win? Doesn't that get frustrating
It's
because
kinda
you know that
different.
you're
That's
supposed to
kinda
win?
apples and oranges, because when you talk about college basketball, you know it's so random that it only takes one time to get you knocked out of that.
Man, I don't care if it's college basketball, tennis, badminton, gambling, whatever it is. You want the opportunity to be there to almost win, to win. You want to win, but if
So
you
you
don't,
like-
you
you
want
like
the
losing?
opportunity to be there to win.
So-
No, you don't like losing.
So we
But
talk-
you want the
You
opportunity
can't
to be
win
able
if you
I
ain't
get it.
competing.
I get it. I
It's
totally.
just-
So when you
it's-
got a parlay, how bad does it hurt when you lose about that last leg?
It hurts.
It hurts. But when you lose about two, you don't feel as bad as when you lose about one.
That's true.
You know what I mean? That same parlay when
At
you're
the
like,
end of the day,
that
but
last
when you
one,
come
that
to
punk
your
ass
senses,
eagle
though,
kept me.
But when you come down to your senses,
It's fun. It's
you,
fun.
You still want that chance.
Yeah.
You think Charles Barkley
I
feel
wanna
good
be-
about competing? You think he won't be a champion?
Yeah, I
He's
think
a champion. Want to be a champion?
Yes, I think he want to be a
Eventually,
champion.
when you have that winning
Yes.
spirit, now you can say I
Do
continue.
you
I was
think
the greatest
do
of
you
what
think
I
he
is.
feels better
I wanna
about
win.
his than Gilbert Arenas, who never been to the finals? Phil?
But somebody might not have the
But
same.
Charles
Somebody might
Barkley-
not have the
Charles
same winning
Barkley
mentality.
Competed. He
As-
had the,
but
he
as-
had the
okay.
he had the mentality of competition.
But
He
that's what I'm saying. I
competed.
think
Let
it
me ask
hurts
you
those
this.
highest
people.
level.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Right.
The last 15, 20 years, would you take the Cowboys ending or San Fran's ending?
I mean,
I hate to say it.
I mean, to me,
Which one,
personally,
bro? Yes,
I'm-
which one? Is it one team? There's our
I-
He's
for
a
bragging-
politician
for
right now.
bragging-
You know the
Nah,
For
man,
bragging
nah,
rights,
man.
I'm gonna
Which
say
one?
San Francisco, but in the end, for bragging, it's just for bragging rights.
Then what's the
because
other-
I'm better,
what's the other one?
Because you said I'm better than you, but we're both losers. I just lost better
But
than
here's,
you.
check this out.
I lost
though,
better than
Terry.
you did.
There's
Check this-
nobody
check
in
this
the
out.
NFC
If
who
you
can
had-
say they better than me. I'm the NFC
Check
champ.
this out, Terry.
But you're not the world champion.
I'm
If you
not.
if you
But
had
we're
two,
nothing.
if you had two different people,
Yeah.
What's
Terry,
that gonna do?
Terry,
Keep
if
warm
you
tonight?
had two people,
A trophy. I'd rather be cold.
if you had two people you introduced into NFL football and you put the last 15 years and you put Dallas on one side and San Fran on the other side, what do you think those casual fans that you just got are going to flock to?
The last 15.
the team is winning.
The
The team
last
is winning.
15. The
It
last
don't matter.
15 is us. The last 15 is us.
How?
15. We're not
How?
talking 5 or 6. So
How?
okay, so they have Kaepernick, they have Jimmy G, and they have Brock Purdy. That's 5. So out of the last 15 years, they
But
probably
they've
got
been
a
to
good 5
Super
or 6.
Bowls
5 or 6.
in that 15 years.
I get that,
Two,
but they don't
as a
win.
matter of
Why
fact,
don't
I
they
believe.
win?
Two.
I need to win it.
But
As a
no,
winning
but
franchise, you want to win.
What I'm
Yes
saying
or
is
no?
you
You want
putting-
to. You
As a
want
winning
to.
franchise,
But
when you're
Terry,
supposed to win.
Terry, we're
I
talking
get
about
it,
putting
but
two individuals that you're introducing to the game.
They're
They're
gonna
going to
lose
go
to
with the winners.
They're
They're
gonna go
going to
with
go with the team who's going the farthest.
But when you come to Dallas, if you come into Dallas, you will be a Dallas fan.
So
You go to that stadium, you're a
No,
you're a
man,
fan.
we're talking
You watch
about
it. You meet the fans.
based
I'm not.
off winning
We
and
going to both
losing,
of them.
based off the schedule. You're gonna get those people are gonna pick San Fran because they've went farther. They've been to 2 Super Bowls. They've been to the NFC Championship, and they're gonna pick that team before they pick a Dallas team.
So
who
are
they've
you gonna
not seen
pick?
do
And
anything.
then you throw AFC teams in that. If you want to throw the Super Bowl champions in there, who are they gonna pick?
Kansas City.
That's what I'm saying. So in the end,
Out of the last
you're
15, you're
saying-
going to pick the Patriots.
And the Patriots, again, so when you put that in the end, so let's add the actual champions in there. So if you're talking just runner-ups, yes, they're the best
Guess who's
runner-up.
gonna be last?
They are the best runner-up.
Guess who's gonna be last?
We're not going to be last. We're
Terry.
13-3 in them
Oh,
years, too.
Jesus.
That's teams better than
Terry,
us.
Terry,
In that
Terry,
4-man run,
Terry.
in that 4-man run, yeah, in that 4-man run. But
Yeah.
overall,
That's
when you
all.
look at
That's
it,
all we're saying. We're just gonna be last. That
But
4-man
okay, so
run.
we're gonna add the Steelers. So if
Yeah,
we're
they
talking
smacked
if we're talking legacy teams, you have to add the Steelers in there too. You have to add the Raiders in there too, and you have to add Green Bay in there, and you have to add the Green Bay in there.
What Dre said.
Steelers got 6. They had 1. They got 1 in the last 20 years too.
It's more than us.
I get it, but how long was that?
You don't get it.
Dude, they got one in what, 05 and 08?
5 and 0.
Something-
They was
something
down.
like that.
I think our current
I
coach
mean-
for them not getting 7.
Man, Trey.
When have we had a
Facts.
Man, 20 years
The
is 20 years.
90s.
20 years
They've
and
had
28
them
is the same
in the
thing.
05s and 08s and
Man, I don't count those don't like they cool, but that's too for us a long time away.
how
now.
can you not
That's
count?
a long
How
time
can you
away
not
now.
count? I
It's still
count my
20 years.
5.
It's still 20 years.
I count my
What's
5.
the difference between 21 and 28?
I count my
You still the
5.
same day
7.
party. You still the
7.
same day party. You
7.
still the same day.
7.
You still the same day party.
7.
No, what I'm saying is that the age. So if you look at
What's
us,
the
we haven't won in
difference
28.
28,000?
So we haven't won in 28, and they haven't won in 21. You're hanging your hat on. I've won it more recent. But if you have the same number, If they have one more than us, they still haven't won in that same amount of time. Like, it's still, they're irrelevant. They're just as irrelevant. Who cares about that one that they won?
They've been
college
this.
players that's looking at
They're just as irrelevant as we are.
Bruh.
The Steelers are just as irrelevant as we are, if not more.
Bro, they done
With
won,
their 6.
They done won 2 since we have, and they done been to a Super Bowl and lost 1.
But they are still as irrelevant as us in the end.
Oh man, it's not
Okay,
true.
that's why we
Terry.
lead in ratings. So
It's
that's
not
why we lead in
true.
ratings. I don't agree with that.
Nah,
It's not
because
true.
The Steelers are
we
still as
down
irrelevant.
The Raiders are. You can use,
We
you can
just
use the
agreed that they
Raiders.
don't have fans under the age of 30.
You can use the Raiders
We
in
just
that.
said, we just said that they don't have fans under the age of 30. You know, so that's telling me that's the same thing as us. It's literally the same thing as us. We are more relevant, even with their 6. We are still a more relevant football team in the last 20 years than they are. They have those, but the Cowboys are still a more relevant football team. Now, if you're talking about winning, there would still be more.
Well, hold on.
How?
You mean we get more
Popular.
publicity?
Publicity,
We're more
popular.
But that's
Yes,
not
you
what
would
we're
be-
talking
you
about.
would be
We're talking
definitely-
about as far as wins and
Wins,
losses.
man. Wins.
We're not talking about
We're not-
publicity.
we talking-
Jerry
You
Jones
sound
tells
like
that
Jerry
every
Jones,
year.
bro. You sound like Jerry.
You're talking about being popular.
But
You're
we
talking
both
about being
losers.
popular.
We're both losing. We're both losing here in the last 20 years.
Well,
we're
I'd
both
rather go to the
losing.
Super Bowl and lose.
Me too.
I'd rather go to the Super Bowl.
I'd rather lose Super Bowl than the first round.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds good. I
All
don't want to
day,
lose,
every
period.
day.
I don't want to lose, period.
Nobody wants to lose, period. But somebody
got to
There's only
lose.
gonna be one
Break
winner.
my heart.
Would you rather,
Break my heart there.
lose how we've been losing in the playoffs, or go in the NFC Championship with a chance to go to the Super Bowl and lose and leave it all out there on the field and lose a hard-fought battle? Which one would
That
you
would-
pick as a
that-
fan? I'm
as a-
talking about
as a fan, as a
Ain't no-
fan.
It's either or.
It's fun, but it hurts more.
No,
it hurts
no,
more.
I'm saying,
It hurts
which
more
one-
to lose in
which
the Super
one
Bowl.
as a
No, no,
fan
no, no,
would
no,
you
no, no.
want to see your
Let me-
team
Losing
do?
in the Super Bowl is just good for bragging
Hold on.
rights. That's all it's good for.
Do you think
It's a more
Detroit
victory.
fans
It's a
is
more
hurt
victory.
is more hurt when they lost that game to San Fran than we was the way we lost to Green Bay?
Yeah.
I think that we were more hurt.
Yeah.
We were more hurt.
Yeah. They
Because-
lost in the NFC Championship.
But you know what the difference
Yeah.
is? But you know what the difference
Yeah.
is between. But the difference is between that. The difference is between that is the expectation. That as Cowboys, we weren't supposed to go into that Green Bay game and lose like that. We weren't supposed to.
No,
we weren't
yeah,
supposed to.
right.
No, we weren't supposed to.
Right.
So that in itself, that's why that game hurt. But traditionally, historically, that's
We
what
lose
Cowboy
first
football
round.
is.
Terry,
Yes.
Terry.
So in the same time, if we made it to that to lose in the fashion that San Francisco lost in the Super Bowl by missing that open throw that
Hold up,
would have iced the game.
time out. Let me get a PSA real quick. Fuck San Fran.
Yeah, fuck 'em
okay,
too.
Go ahead.
But, you know, by missing that throw, by seeing it right there in your fingertips, and then watching Mahomes come down and drive down and take away your championship, when you've been there 3 times in a row, you know this is your year.
Let me ask you
That shit hurts.
In the
Let
Super
me
Bowl.
ask you something.
That
Terry.
hurts every year.
It does.
More victories
Terry,
are
let
for
me
minor
ask
league
you one
coaches.
thing.
But
As a-
If I know I'm supposed to win, this is our year every year.
let
And
me
they say
ask
the
you
same
one
thing
thing.
we
supposed to win
do.
in Green Bay, and we did.
Let me ask
And
you
we
one
didn't.
thing, man.
And it hurt.
And we didn't.
As a player,
That hurt.
I seen you coming.
as a player,
That hurt.
I
I
seen it
don't even
coming.
care if you seen it coming. It still hurt.
as a player, do you rather go to the Super Bowl and lose, or lose in the first round? Hey, hold on.
Which one would you rather do, though?
Now,
Let's say
take
it's our
in
fault.
consideration,
It's our fault.
take in
One after the
consideration, take in consideration every playoff game you're getting more money. So
Oh,
as
you're
a
talking
player,
about money,
hold on, but as a player, do you want to lose first round or lose in the Super Bowl when you've gotten 2 or 3 extra bonuses?
We want Super Bowl, the bread.
So what's the
you talking
difference?
about that money. You
What's
talking
the
about that
difference
money.
any
I'm
other
trying
way?
to win this
talking
brick,
about that
man.
money.
What's
I'm
the
trying to
difference
win a
any other
brick,
way?
and if I'm in the Super Bowl, I got a chance to
So
win
what's,
this
yeah,
brick.
so what's
I
the
agree.
difference any other way is what we saying.
I agree, but at this, I'm
For the
saying,
last 3
I'm
years,
saying,
when it came into the season, and Dre's words was, we need to make it to the NFC Championship.
bust.
I need to see the NFC Championship, or
Every
it's
year.
a bust.
you know
They're
why?
doing that and going further.
The reason why you say that is because of expectation. If we were
No.
bad, you don't have that same feeling.
So what's their
you don't have that
expectations
same-
if they'd have made it 3 times?
to win the Super Bowl?
Correct.
To win it, and when you don't win it, you are then underperforming.
So when we don't make it past the first round,
We are
first
doing
game,
what we always do,
Underperforming.
I agree. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that in the end, you just said you're underperforming if you don't win, or if you're underperforming whether you lose in the first round. It's still underperforming
Only
when
one-
you have expectations.
Misery
As a
loves
San Francisco fan right now, I would assume as a Dallas fan, if we were in that same position, I would go into that thinking Super Bowl or bust. Because every year I'm supposed to make it. Every year I have made it. That is expectation at that point. When you are expected to win, you are expected to do those great things. So when you can't win it, it becomes a question of why aren't you winning? Why aren't you winning? It's not about, you made it, because it gets to be expected. Once you do it over and over again, you're going to expect to be in that
Here's the
position.
thing. Here's the
As a fan,
thing,
you want to
Jerry.
see your team take steps.
It's great, but as
Here's
a
the
fan, I
thing,
need that
Jerry.
6. I need that 6 as a fan.
we do need
I need that
6.
6.
But every year going in saying it's a Super Bowl or bust is being unrealistic.
Not if you're
Yes.
supposed to win.
Here-
Not if
here-
you're expected to
here's
win.
the
Not with
thing,
that same
Jerry. Here's the
expectation.
thing.
They're expected to make it to the
Here's
Super
the
Bowl
thing,
every year
Jerry.
from the NFC. Am I wrong?
Here's the thing.
Last 5 years, they've been expected to make it
If-
to the Super Bowl.
because they come out and smash through the whole
If
season.
we get
And
to
they
the
don't, so they
NFC
underperform.
Championship, like Dre said, to me it's NFC Championship or bust. But
Bust.
the thing with that is, if I get to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl and I lose to a better team, I'm okay with that.
How do you-
Because here's the
Depending
thing,
on
because
how you lose.
Depending on how you
but
lose.
just because you lose in the Super Bowl or NFC doesn't mean you welter. Doesn't mean you were saying it like, even though you lose, it's still a loss.
The
You
first
failed.
loser. You're the
You
first
failed.
loser.
You didn't.
Yeah.
No,
You're
it's
the first
not.
loser.
It's not a failure if you play well. Sometimes the better team wins.
It's a failure. You know why?
Sometimes
You know
the
why?
better teams win.
But do you know why we're NFC
Why do you
championship
think?
or bust?
Why has Kansas City been winning the Super Bowls? Because
Patrick
they've
Mahomes.
been the better teams. Period.
They've had a better coach and a better
They've been
quarterback.
a better team.
They've had a better
period.
coach and a better quarterback.
Well,
But
they-
if you-
why-
they have
what-
generational. They have Popovich and Tim Duncan right now.
So Chris Jones.
That's what they have. Popovich
Chris,
and Tim
Chris
Duncan right
Jones
now.
hadn't won a
Yeah.
Super Bowl himself.
Yeah.
He didn't do nothing but
McNabb
the
was
show.
together though. and they
But
won
Reed,
runs.
McNabb ain't no.
But
don't
Chris
give
Jones
Mahomes
has
and
closed
McNabb
out
and-
Super Bowls too,
and he
not
has.
just Mahomes. It ain't just
Okay,
been
so
in
check.
Mahomes' hands
So-
at the end to
so
close
let-
out
so-
these Super Bowls.
so let's go
Chris
back-
has closed them out
but
too.
let's go back to the
They've
fact-
been good teams.
But let's go back to the fact of you say.
And
it's
you
Super-
hadn't seen anybody. You hadn't seen the Kansas City team that win it, and then you said, "Oh, they should not won it. Somebody else should have beat them." They've been the best team.
They,
Period.
but they
Nah,
played
nah,
bad
not
too.
last
Nah, they
year.
played bad too and
Not
lost.
last
They
year.
played
Why
bad too and
wasn't
lost. They played
because
bad too and lost
Mahomes
too.
wasn't as good as it. That defense was better than they had ever been last year.
I don't think they were the best team last year.
They just found ways to win. So we go back to
Well, who do you think in the playoffs
injury
should
for
have beat them?
San Fran. That injury hurt.
It hurt.
That injury. What's the linebacker name?
It was Hufanga and the safety. They had lost Hufanga. That was their starting safety. You remember he got the torn ACL. He was gone for the year too.
Yeah, but the linebacker celebrated and hurt himself.
Drake Greenlaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drake
That changed the game for them.
It sure did.
Yes.
It sure did.
So when you
all about
when you
that.
think about it again, why Dre says, and why we all say NFC Championship or bust, you know why? We are the Dallas Cowboys. That's exactly why. If you were the New York Giants, that wouldn't be your expectation. If you were the Cleveland Browns, that's not because we look good. We look good every year on paper. We've been the best team on paper for a while. We come in with, why do we have expectation? And tell me why we have expectation. Because evidently we don't really truly believe in our we halfway believe in our quarterback. He's on a show and prove.
Because
we don't have a good coach.
overdue for one.
Because of expectation. That's
Because
why we're
we're
overdue.
fans, bro.
Everything
But
is expectation.
Because we're fans.
You can't say when we ain't have no quarterback for real, we had them 5 and 12 seasons or whatever, that we had expectations to go to the Super Bowl.
We didn't because we had no
Okay,
reason
so
to have
that's what I'm
expectation.
talking about.
But now
now we feeling like as the years done went along and our team is starting, when Parcells came, our team got a little bit more foundation. See what I'm saying? And then, let's see if we can get to the playoffs. So it's even though we're this historical great team, it took us a while to get there. It took us a while to get to these expectations of get to an NFC championship or bust.
We had 10
it ain't
years.
just because we're the Dallas Cowboys.
We had 10 years. Yes, it is. Because we had 10 years. We have 10
Yes,
years
it
of
is.
obscurity. We had 10 years of obscurity, and then Romo came along, and we've been into the limelight. Back into that spotlight again once we start winning again, because tradition is good for winning is good for tradition and back and forth. Because no different when the Lakers are good or when the Celtics are all good together. That's good for the sport. That's tradition. When Kansas is good, when Duke is good, when Kentucky is good, when those teams are good, it's good for the sport. So when Dallas is good, we have that expectation and we assume NFC or bust. NFC Championship or bust. But truly, we know that it's first round and out because that's what we do. But
you
every
know
year
what,
we come in
Terry?
saying the same thing.
Every
That's why it's a
team-
running meme of, that's why it's a running thing of the Cowboys say this year is our year.
Every team-
Because we do
don't
that.
do it,
It's a
man.
running,
I
yes
don't
we do.
do it.
That's a
I don't
running.
do it.
Every
We
team-
know,
Nobody
but that's a
says
running
it's
thing.
like-
Every team,
Everybody knows that we say it's
that
like-
you
Nah,
mentioned.
Everybody
This is the
knows
crew.
this.
Every team
But
that you
traditionally,
mentioned, every team
historically
you
with
mentioned,
Cowboys
man, is
fans.
tradition. Every team you mentioned is tradition.
And they have
fans-
expectation.
And fans who have traditional ball teams will have expectation. Do you think
Expectation.
Unrealistic
But do you
Unrealistic,
think?
and
But
that's
do
why
you
we-
think
so we
UK
don't have
fans? Do you think UK basketball fans are not going to have expectation because Pope's here?
But
You're
act like
crazy.
that-
Nah,
Okay,
they,
so-
they
but
not
act like-
expecting to win.
Act like they didn't get
That was-
tired of
that-
almost
I'm
almost winning the championship.
Did
They're
you
not
see-
expecting to win no chips.
But I'm not saying
But
that.
act like you
but
didn't
how
get
many
tired
people?
of-
How many
of
people
almost
packed that
winning.
place when he came in town?
But that ain't got
How
nothing
many
to do
people
with
packed that
winning
place
the
when he came in
championship,
town?
though.
That's got a lot to do with it.
No, it
But
doesn't.
It has a lot to do with what the
I
fans
disagree with that.
Yeah,
I do too.
disagree.
Yeah.
No,
I
so
do
my
too.
thing is that
Just
so
because
act
you
like-
support,
telling you,
just
I'm
because
telling
you
you
support the
because I
team
know.
don't mean that you expect a championship because you still support
I'm
the
not
team
saying
and
you.
the coach.
I'm not saying you expecting a championship.
You expect
I'm not
championship 'cause
saying.
you're good.
But
PK,
I'm telling
did you see the Louisville
but I'm
thing?
telling
PK
you-
sold that when he had his little thing.
Yeah.
For Louisville, we're not expecting to win a championship.
No, you're not expecting to win a championship.
You just support your team and the coach.
But you're expecting things out of them because of traditions.
What kind of thing? What kind of thing?
You're not expecting. You don't put $1 million. You don't sell that place out if you ain't got tradition. That's all I'm saying. We didn't sell it out when Kenny Payne with the red and white. We didn't
first
sell it
game,
out.
yeah. At
I've been
at
talking about
first-
that red and white. We did not sell it out.
The first one?
Every time you were the first
one, you
we
crazy.
did not sell it out. I was at
You
the
crazy.
first two Kenny Payne red and
first
white
was
scrimmages.
crazy.
They wasn't sold out.
But so-
they
so-
block off half the dang on arena. They wasn't sell
So
out.
outside
No,
of
man,
that,
they wasn't sell out.
so
I was in both of them.
why is it that Dallas continuously sells out? Because we are the
they're a big
Cowboys.
market
The
team.
other fans
They're a big
buy
market
all the
team.
tickets.
That and we are traditional teams. We are, you stupid, but we are traditional teams, man. So our expectation every year is gonna be the same. We say the same shit every year. You know, we gon' you know,
Who's we,
that's
man?
a
That gotta
fan
be
base.
you,
Let's
man,
not,
bro, 'cause
no.
I can't. I don't remember the last time I went into a
I'm not
season and
saying
said we're
that.
going to win a championship.
Because the five that sit up
Well,
here,
I
the
think
five that
I
sit up
know
here are
kinda what
realistic,
you're
and we've
talking
been
about.
beat
Have you-
up.
You
No,
went to a season.
but-
As a
When's the last
fan
time we went to a
base,
season
but
and you
we're-
said we're gonna win?
As
a
an
Super Bowl?
overall
we're,
fan base.
we're knowledgeable. We're knowledgeable thinking
Realistic.
Cowboy fans.
We're
I've
realistic.
listened to some Cowboy fans
Yeah.
that make you turn your head.
Yeah, it's
dude,
realistic.
come
Like,
on,
we're
man.
realistic
Come on,
Cowboy
man.
fans.
It's-
Us five that sit up here.
I've
When is
heard
the-
those
when
fans.
is the
I've
last
heard
We're
time
not.
you
I've heard them too.
yourself said we're going to win a championship?
I said we was
I
gonna be
didn't
17.
even know
I said we was gonna be
last time
17
I
and
thought
0.
we was going to even.
I said we was gonna be 17 and 0.
But you didn't believe that.
I didn't, but still I said
You
it.
did,
But that-
I knew you didn't
but that's-
believe that.
but that
you
is-
said that because you was.
But that
you
is,
didn't believe that.
But that is the embodiment of Cowboy fans, dog. Like that's what we
No,
do,
man.
bro. We
No,
okay, dog. Like,
no, I don't-
okay, we're not talking as us four. Like, let's just embrace the culture and embrace our fan base. We know what we
I mean,
are.
Terry, if you do it, you can
We
admit
know
you
what
do
we
it. It's
are.
okay.
But yeah, but we know
Okay,
what we
well-
are, bro. Like we know what we are,
So-
dog. Like
so
y'all,
I can't
y'all,
speak for
y'all
them.
sit up here and
I
act
speak-
like y'all don't know what we are as a fan
I don't
base,
speak for
dog.
them. I speak for
Yeah,
us. I speak
right.
for myself.
right.
I don't
But
come
you-
into the season
Okay,
saying that.
but when you
because
go
you got
into-
some idiots that's out here saying other stuff and shooting.
If you was to
blanks
go,
on the iron,
if you was to go to
Right.
AT&T
Right.
Stadium,
I'd have been.
you gonna sit next. Yeah, so if you gonna sit next to
We
that
know
delusional
that.
Cowboy fan. I sat next to one. I sat next to one.
And
in,
after talking to him, did you say we gonna win a
look,
championship?
I sat next to one in Levi. Is it still Levi? Is that what
Hey,
it is now?
it's
It's
a-
Levi, right? It's Levi in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So I sat next to one with the Lucha Libre mask, Lucha Librador mask, the blanket around, the full cape.
Yeah.
He came into
He
that
tried to
game.
throw it in there
Yeah, he
on
goes
the-
in
on
there,
the
man.
slick.
And so when I look at that, that tells me if you're willing to come in there with that type of bravado, knowing that they've been whooping our ass for years straight, you're just as delusional as the rest of the fan base. So if you can come in
So
there
how
and
you
do that,
supposed to come into the game?
Because he went into
You
the game
going to
thinking
get-
we was gonna win it, made him delusional that we was gonna win the championship.
no, it's the delusional of the fact of to think that we're gonna that is the embodiment of our fans.
You went there to that game to leave that all the way from Kentucky thinking we was gonna win that game.
Right.
I had to. I was
Right.
in enemy territory. I'm
Why do you
prideful.
think he
I'm
wasn't?
prideful. I'm prideful.
The same thing
I'm
I was
prideful.
thinking,
Look,
bro.
no, there's a difference. Like I might not
There's a
believe.
difference.
Look, I'm gonna tell you that we gonna win. I'm gonna beat my chest because I'm not gonna. I'm
Bro,
not
you
gonna
flew
succumb
all
to
the way to
them.
California for
And,
that.
and I didn't really feel great going into the game, but my pride ain't gonna let me. It ain't gonna let me. You can't see me sweat. You can't see me sweat. I walked in that stadium thinking we were gonna win, but traditionally or historically, should I say, they've been having our number. No different than it is with Green Bay. They've been having our number. So you want to go into those games. We went into that Green Bay game last year knowing that we were better than them. Knowing that
Man,
we were
we-
playing,
we
that
still
we should have beat them.
mentally fragile.
But we know that they have our number.
I'm still hurt over that game. I have not
obviously we
recouped
did.
from
Going
that game.
into that game, did you
I
not think we were
still
going to
have
win?
not recouped
did
from
you
that
go into
game.
that game thinking we were going to win, that we were better than them?
Yes.
So
Well,
again,
well,
then
yes.
we walked in there with our chest out, but looking at the statistics and historically with the numbers, we know that they're going to beat
I
us.
thought
Numbers will tell you that they were going to beat
I
us.
thought our quarterback was.
I thought our quarterback was too.
That's what I thought the difference was going to be. Our quarterback just better than theirs.
But when we look at
I
numbers,
thought our defense was
yeah,
going to step
I thought
up.
we had to- yeah,
yeah,
I
I
thought
thought
our
our defense
defense
was going to
was
play
better.
better
when you look
than
at
what
the
they
numbers,
did.
though, the numbers show that they
You
just
didn't-
own us.
surely didn't think Love was going to go berserk like that.
No, some
did.
teams
I
just
figured
have
he
their
was going to be
numbers,
on his
man.
back. I didn't know that our game record was not going to wreck. It was
Until
not
you
gonna
break
show
it,
up.
no different than when you say that we get walk-offs in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Like it becomes a thing. It just happens, and you're gonna start to believe it going into the game.
And we call it a hot team, man.
But you
they got on the roll
but
late
you-
last
but-
year. Green
but
Bay
what you
ran
were saying
off them.
about our fan
everybody
base,
except
though,
for
man,
us, why
after
can't
the
we be the hot
Cleveland
team?
game, after the Cleveland game this year, man, it was a guy after the game worked Monday. After that game, come to me and say, Super Bowl.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like that's just what we gonna do, dog. Like we are delusional, dog. Like and
And
it's
I had
okay.
to look at him and say, hold on, man. You gotta slow down a little bit, man. This schedule, man, is a little rougher.
But the difference is that you understand that, and you know you've been part of that. You've been part of this ass whooping for a long time.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna allow you to take that emotional beating year after year. But some people don't. Some people don't mind that emotional beating. You know what I'm saying? Some people are gonna sit there and they're gonna ride or die for their team.
And you know,
and it just is what it is. Yeah, it just is what it is, man. Like that's just what we do as Cowboy fans. Man. I embrace it. I'm okay. I'm cool with the roller coaster.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
no,
Well, a
It's
lot
another
of those
misconception
fans,
with it.
though, a lot of those fans end up don't really know the players for real. Don't really watch the games. They just go and look at the final score to see if we won.
And it's
Yeah,
a
they
lot of
might.
misconception,
Is that a
man.
fan?
That, it's a lot of misconception that Dallas fans are Laker fans and Yankee fans. No, I'm not neither one. So, no, it's not the case.
You are one.
We're not homers. No, I'm not a Yankee fan.
You're a homer.
Or a Laker fan. Not at all.
But you're a Dallas fan. Like,
I'm
there's a
Dallas
reason why
fan,
you. It's
but
a reason why you bunch those in together.
It's a misconception that Dallas fans are all Laker fans.
And guess what my favorite basketball team is? The Lakers.
Well,
Guess
I
what my
mean, it's just
favorite.
the
Guess what my favorite baseball team is? The Yankees.
Well, and like a lot of Dallas fans here,
it
like
just
a
is what
lot
it
of
is.
Dallas fans
I
here,
grew up in the 90s,
and a lot
man,
of Dallas
like-
fans here, they say UK, Lakers,
Dallas.
Yankees.
I grew up in the 90s, bro.
That's
like
not
those
true.
was my years, man.
It's Dallas, U of L fans too. So I'm telling
No,
you.
I'm just saying, but that's the misconstrued. Like
Yeah. I know a
that
few.
the Dallas fans like all the
Popular
blue
team.
bloods of
Okay.
everything. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of what.
yeah.
And it's
no,
the truth,
not
but
the
you gotta
case.
look, man. If you grew up in the 90s, if you grew up in the 90s, late 80s, 90s, or like even late 90s, it's normal for you to be a part of those teams. Again, in 95, in 93, in 94, or 96, whichever, you know what I mean, however we want to date the
Man,
years.
I was born into this, man.
Yeah, but see, I was every
It
bit
wasn't
of
because
10
of the
years old,
90s,
7 years old. Like that was my introduction into football. Was Michael Irvin. My introduction into football was Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman. You know what I mean? Like literally, you can see. I got pictures at 8 and 9 years old because of the time frame that's who was winning.
yeah,
So that no different than a kid growing up watching Patrick Mahomes right now. If that's your introduction, my dad was a Redskins fan. You know what I mean? You heard her say Redskins. You know what I mean? So that's old school. But I watched Deion. I watched Michael Irvin. That's who you want to be. You know, a lot of the Bulls fans are from that era of time because Mike was the man. You know what I mean? Laker fans is the same way with Kobe. You know, these young kids, that's why you can't tell them LeBron ain't the GOAT because they didn't get to see Kobe play ball. They didn't get to see Mike play ball. They didn't grow up in the era of that greatness. So when
Are you
watch,
saying Kobe's better than LeBron?
I'm a Kobe. I'm picking
I
Kobe
didn't
all
ask
day.
it.
I'm
I'm
picking
just
Kobe
asking the
all
question,
day.
bro.
I'm
Just
taking-
ask your question.
I'm taking Kobe all day.
Over
I'm taking-
Bryant?
Yeah, all day. I want a dog.
He's
I want
better.
a dog. I want a dog. No, it's a mentality. I want a dog. I want the player who's gonna take it, who got the confidence to take a shot over 3
But
defenders.
why not want the
You know
player
what I
who's
mean?
going to be confident to pass it to the open man like Mike did a couple
They
times?
pass
on
it.
the
I mean, they
last
pass
side.
it when they got to. You pass it when you got to.
Another drink.
Well,
You know what I mean?
but-
I pass it when you got to.
You're supposed to be an
I'm
educated
cool with the
ball
Mike
player.
and LeBron debate.
An
but
educated ball player.
Come on, man.
Man, I'm
We
a
have
You
dog,
gotta make
man.
the educated.
I like
you gotta
dogs, bro. I
make
like
the
Russell
educated
Westbrook,
play.
bro. He's a dog.
Gotta
I
make
like
the educated
dogs,
play.
bro.
What?
As point guards, you know, Derrick Rose, dog, bro. I like dogs, bro. LeBron he's lost that dog mentality as of right now. I mean, but again, he's damn near 40. Ain't he 40 now? So I understand.
We ain't
I'm
gonna hold
not
it up.
saying
We ain't
now.
gonna hold the podcast
But
up on that.
overall,
I was just asking a question.
Yeah, overall, I'm taking dogs. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want on my team. You know what I'm saying? I want those players who's not taking.
Hold on before we
lost-
run out of
lost
time.
don't come
Shout
up.
out to Steve-O. You want rats?
Bef-
You want dogs or rats?
Ah, he's
Steve-O.
stupid. He's petty, dog. He's petty, man. Don't answer him. Man. Yeah, dogs are rap, man. Man, I don't
So,
need crap.
quick question, real quick.
Yeah.
Who was y'all players of the game, offense and defense for the game
D-Mo.
yesterday?
I'm giving offense to Dak. Because you know what one
Yeah,
player
I'm
we
Giving
got
offense to who?
to Dak. You know why? Jumping on that fumble. I watched
Yeah,
Cam Newton. I
offense to
watch
Rico.
Cam.
What
that
jersey?
too. I give Cam.
What
Dre
jersey?
say, Dre?
Rico.
Rico played good too,
Rico
but
and D-Mo.
I think that Rico's maybe been holding it back, so McCarthy may have been holding Rico
Man,
back.
I've been
By not
saying
hitting
this,
it.
man. I've
I-
been
I-
telling y'all,
I
man.
wanna say-
Rico.
I'm giving
I
it to
wanna
Dak.
say-
Falling on that fumble was huge, man.
I really
I'ma say
want to
Tolbert.
say Tolbert,
I'm gonna say Tolbert.
but
That's what
Rico
I'm
set
gonna
the
say.
tone, so I'm gonna go with Rico.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna say Tolbert.
defense, I guess overshown, but at the same time, number 7 kept you from hearing about
yeah.
Pickens out the whole game.
yeah.
You know, so but
Yeah.
I'm going
I'm
linebackers. I'm going with both of them. I'm going with Kendricks and Overshown.
I'm looking at overshown, so I'll go with that.
I'm going our quarterback, man. Like I said, we lose by him, we win by him.
How can you say that he was the MVP of the game?
I'm just
because
saying
of the
the
last throw.
offensive, because
It
of
got
that.
to be because of that.
That and the fact that, like you said,
He
the
got
short
that
memory.
fumble,
The
too.
short memory. That fumble
Yeah.
was huge,
That
dog.
fumble was
Like,
huge.
because we watched
That fumble was
we watched
huge.
quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. We watched quarterbacks in the Super Bowl not jump on that, reach
Yeah.
down, try to pick it
Yeah.
up. And
Shout out to Cam.
Dak, yeah, man. But Cam's nice, but it's just when I watch Dak jump on that ball to the awareness, because we had just talked about his awareness earlier
But
in the
if
game.
it wasn't if it wasn't for Dak, we wouldn't even been in that position.
You are the problem and the solution.
If it
but
wasn't
the
for
fact
Dak,
is,
we wouldn't have been. And I ain't gonna say it because I just gave props to him when it started, so I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
But you got to give it to Rico for the way he controlled that ground, we controlled that
Yes,
clock,
sir.
the way they was the number 1 team against the rush, if I'm mistaken. And
It was up there. For sure.
and he.
is that McCarthy's call?
Man, who cares?
I don't care who's the call. When he
on
got
the
the
ball?
They
ball,
switched it up and played
when
smash
they got the
mouth
ball,
football.
he was smashing. He was running through arm tackles.
Yes,
he was
sir.
running over people, running through people. Yeah, you got to give that to him, man. For a team that he had a career high.
20 carries, 87 yards. He had.
I didn't even talk about his. We didn't even talk about his touchdown catch where he laid out for 23
laid
yards,
out,
man.
rolled around,
Rolled,
to
man.
keep it from-
yeah. Play the
Shout out to
game.
Rico,
Shout out Rico. Thank you for coming
And,
through.
and
Yeah,
I think
I'ma
Zeke is
give it-
getting ready to come down, and Dalvin Cook. We need to bring you up, man.
I'm gonna give it to you, Tolbert. I'm gonna give it to you.
Tolbert, big game.
I'm gonna give it to you for the 7 of 10 targets, 10 targets, 7 receptions,
Yeah.
big time receptions,
Big time.
big time catch with your hands.
Yeah.
Shows you getting in the weight room. Shows you out there working, man, and
And-
that's
and
why I'm gonna give you the player of the game because of where you come from and where you are now.
And-
what you did.
And you came back out there and made that game-winning
Catch,
play.
yeah.
You know,
And-
after Dak tried to, kill your mint jewel.
And shout out to Fergie. Fergie, you had stopped us from hitting the parlay a couple of times. We was really
Yeah,
doubting
shout
when
out
we would
Fergie.
get
But
you.
you know,
Fergie came through. That 39 was huge, man.
yeah.
That
I'ma
was
sit here-
huge over two people.
I'm gonna do one for Big Cuz since he ain't here. Hunter Lukey.
Lukey.
Yeah,
Hunter
yeah,
Lukey,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
You know,
Hey, though,
Hunter
that
Lukey, man.
screen.
Hunter Lukey with the
That
screen. Hey,
screen.
man.
With
that's
the screen.
Yeah.
Hey, dog, Hunter Lukey, man.
When we was down there and we gave it to Rico and he jumped up and fumbled, I was sitting there before that saying,
Give it to Lukey.
give it to Lukey.
Yeah.
We right here on the goal line, give it to Lukey.
Or
Let's go.
Zeke right there.
That's the Swift
Why
turtle.
wasn't Zeke in there?
Yeah.
It should have been Lukey and Zeke in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
How about
Smash
them
it.
Cowboys?
Yeah.
Smash mouth.
How about him?
So we got Detroit coming up. Are we
Detroit
living in
next,
this?
man.
Detroit's
Detroit
Thursday.
next, man.
We'll talk about that. Kick.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
We'll see y'all
Steelers.
at the kickback, man. Cruise
Fuck
out.
you, Steelers.
Cowboys Raw Uncut, baby.
4 more years to deal with that, Steelers.
Cowboys Raw Uncut. 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 Cowboys Raw Uncut.